right here allegedly shot her son in the back. I believe she's from Columbus, Ohio. And I was just basically just reading this right here. 45-year-old may spend the rest of her days behind bars for killing her 21-year-old son, shooting him dead after her attempts to stab him. Mm. You shot your son in the back. Now, according to witnesses, they are pretty much saying that your son, you and your son pretty much got a little history of domestic violence or whatever like that. I don't know if he was the aggressor or not. But accordingly, they said that your son actually packed his bags up, walking out the house with his bags. Because I can understand parents kicking their kids out the house, especially if their kids started being very disrespectful and they start talking back, all that mess. I totally understand that. You threw your son out the house. You kicked him out the house. He was walking away, but that wasn't enough for you? That wasn't enough for you. You kicked your son out because he was being disrespectful, being a disobedient child, running his mouth, talking back to you. Walked out of the house with a trash bag with his clothes in it, and that wasn't enough for you. So instead, you went to your car, got a gun, and shot him in the back while he was walking away. That's crazy. Why? Why'd you shoot him in the back for? You know what? I think I know why. Because, for one, your son probably got tired of putting up with your mess. He probably got tired of putting up with your mess. And you saw him walking out the house with his clothes, with a bag full of his clothes. And when you saw that, you know once he was gone, there was no one around that house for you to argue with. So instead, you want to get a gun and just shoot your son in the back like a coward. Shoot him in the back like a coward, though. You know, whatever he said to you probably was indeed true. That probably explains why the father's not around, because you probably one of them argumental types. You know, kids like that, when they get up and get grown, they probably be thinking to themselves, you know what? Maybe my dad probably was not a bad person. Maybe it was my mother feeding all this bull crap in my head, making me think that my dad was a nobody. And, you know, that's how some of these kids start to figure that stuff out as they get older. They start to realize that, like, I understand, man, that, sometimes your parents get on your nerves, and that's what you got to do sometimes, man. When you get in an argument with your parents like that, especially on an everyday occasion, you're arguing with your parents all the time, that's not healthy. Especially arguing with your mom and your parents every day, that ain't help. That's not healthy at all, man, because, incidents like that can turn into an incident like what this woman did, shooting her own son in the back like that. According to witnesses, your son didn't do nothing to you. Like people saw it. Like at first you wanted to get a knife and stab your son. Like before you shot him in the back, you tried to stab him. You tried to stab him. And I think some of the neighbors or somebody took the knife away from you. And then when your son walked away with a bag of his clothes, and then you talking about, I want to show you something, you just shot the boy in the back. Shot him in the back. He was leaving. You won. He was leaving your property, leaving your house, walking out. I'm sure he probably was still talking shit. He was probably still saying things towards you that you probably didn't like. He probably called you names. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what your son said. He probably was talking shit to you, and you probably didn't approve it. I understand you getting mad about that. Yeah, I get angry too. I get angry too. If I had kids and they was talking back to me, yeah, I tell them to get out of my house. I say get out of my house before I call the police, or I end up pulling a gun and shooting your damn ass. What's it gonna be? But apparently it doesn't seem like the son was the aggressive. I don't think he was the aggressive in this, because I don't think, because usually, when you shoot someone in the back like that in front of witnesses, yeah, you're gonna go to jail for that. Especially if your son didn't attack you. He walked away. Yeah, he was probably still talking junk, still running his mouth, but he was walking away from you. And that won't good enough for you. You feel like you had to prove a point by shooting that boy in the back. Now, what if your son would have survived that? He damn sure wouldn't have forgave you for that. I know I wouldn't forgave my parents if they did some grimy shit like that. I'm arguing with my mom. And I got my bag closed in the hand, and next thing you know, my mom shoot me in the back, shoot me in the damn back, and I survived that. Oh no, it ain't gonna be no forgiveness. Ain't gonna be no forgiveness. If my mom did some grimy shit like that and shot me in the damn back, even though I'm walking away, I'm leaving her house, and she shoot me in the back, and I lived through that, oh, ain't gonna be no forgiveness on that. Hell no. I'd have been like, as far as I'm concerned, you being my mother, you dead to me. That's what I would have said if that was my mother that shot me in the back. If I would have survived the gunshot wounds, as soon as I would have survived it, I would have told her ass right there and then. So you know what? As a mother, say you a mother to me. As far as I'm concerned, you're dead to me. You shot me in the damn back. I was walking away. That wasn't good enough. And you can just look at her and tell she look like one of them argumental type. I mean, look at her. It's like she got a smirk on her face. Just look at her. She don't look like she have no remorse for shooting her son in the back. She looking like, yeah, I shot that motherfucker in the back. Yeah, I shot him. He was talking back to me and all that stuff like that. Who he think he is? I let him know. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. That's what the expression of her face look. That's what it says on this mugshot right here. Yeah, I shot him in the back. He just like his daddy. He just like his father. Thinking he gonna talk to me like his father. Oh no. Now he ain't gonna talk to me like that. I'm gonna get a gun and make an example out of him. Your own son didn't even think you would do something like that. Because if he knew you was gonna shoot him, he would have made a run for it. But he didn't know you was gonna do something like that. He didn't know you was gonna do something like that. Because if I knew my mom was gonna do something like that, going to her car, I'd have ran. Ain't no damn way I'm gonna be walking away and thinking that she ain't gonna shoot me if I know she is gonna shoot me. My ass has been running, boy. But in her son's situation, he didn't think she would do something like that. And you're gonna shoot the boy in the back like a coward. Yeah, he might have said some things to you that probably pissed you off. But you told him to get out of your house. I'm sure you probably told him did or not. Either way, he got tired of arguing with you, whether you threw him out or not. He just said, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm not going to keep arguing with you, Ma. And that's probably what he did. He probably got tired of you, or like I said, you probably threw him out, and he did what he was told. You didn't have to get the police on him because he already had his bag of clothes walking out of your place. And that wasn't good enough for you. That wasn't good enough. You still shot him in the back. I can understand if he was attacking you outside and you was defenseless, then yeah, you had to do what you had to do to put your own son down. But that boy was not being aggressive towards you from witnesses saying. He was walking away from you. He was probably aggressive with you on inside the house, probably, when no one couldn't see. But as soon as he got outside, he just walked away from you. And you know what? I'm surprised she ain't used that in her defense. Yeah, my son, he was aggressive, you know what I'm saying? But I guess she's not using any of that as her defense though. But knowing her, she probably would use it in her defense just to get out of jail. Like, yeah, my son put his hands on me and this and that, but that still don't give you an excuse to shoot him in the back. Jesus Christ, boy. And you wonder why your ass is single. That is why you single. That is why a lot of black women like these are single, because they argumental. Boyfriend don't want to have nothing to do with them because they argumental. And then when they ain't got nobody around the house to argue, they try to take it out on their kids. And then when their kids start to get grown and start to see how much their mother is, they be like, I see why daddy left you, because you're so argumental. And her son probably don't figure that out. I don't know what her son did or what he said to make her snap like that. I don't know if he was getting in trouble by law or whatever. I don't know. But she still didn't have to shoot him though. The boy was walking away. You still shot the boy in the back. Like, what the fuck? Like, you just had to prove a point or something. You're gonna spend the rest of your life in prison now, woman.